What's cracking, guys? Bruce Madsen here, your host of the show of Metro Scout Fantasy Football. And just a couple days ago, I dropped a mock draft. I said if you give me 50 likes on this mock draft, I'll turn around and drop you another one. Well, you guys hit that mark pretty quick, which means I gotta pay up. And that's what we're gonna do today. And also, in the comments of that video, someone wanted a 1 QB mock draft. That was suggested. And guess what? I'm here to deliver, and I'm going to give it to you. 1 QB mock draft, 2 rounds, and we're going to fire that bad boy up right now. All right, let's get this draft started. First player off the board with the 101. We're looking at Breece Hall, running back from Iowa State. Right now, he is the consensus 101 pick, pretty much in both formats. He is looking like the top prospect here. Blew up the combine, looked well throughout his collegiate career. It's hard to knock him, and there's rumors that he might get bumped up to the first round. If he gets first round draft capital, lights out, 101 all day, every day. Moving on to the 102, second player off the board. Treylon Burks, wide receiver from Arkansas, got drafted in this spot. Highly productive throughout his collegiate career. Big body wide receiver and get you that yak. Will get drafted in the first round. Will get that draft capital. And with some teams with some good quarterbacks needing some wide receivers, we may see him walk into a solid situation. Moving to the 103, the third pick off the board here. This draft, they selected Kenneth Walker, running back from Michigan State. I feel like this is a good spot for him in drafts. 1, he's one of the top running backs in the draft. 2, he's going to get draft capital. Rushed for over 1,600 yards this year. Good vision, good burst, did well at the combine. Stock's pointing up for this dude. Moving on to the fourth pick, the 104 here. And in this draft, they selected Garrett Wilson, wide receiver from Ohio State. Some people has him as the wide receiver 1. Some people has him as the wide receiver 2. But you don't see him fall much farther than that. He has good change of direction skills. Stout at the catch point, can rise up, climb the ladder, and is strong bringing the ball home. One of the top wide receivers in this class, will get first round draft capital. To the 105, here we got another running back going off the board, and it's Isaiah Spiller, running back from Texas A&M. This was before his pro day, before people were arguing about that 40 time, but he is considered one of the top running backs in this year's class. Might get enough draft capital for him to stay in the first round of rookie drafts. Moving on to the 106. Next player off the board here is Drake London, wide receiver from USC, and I consider this a good value here at the 106 spot. You're getting a good wide receiver with draft capital, should get drafted in the first round, might even be the first wide receiver selected. Highly productive last year, one of the most productive wide receivers in college football until he had the ankle injury. Should be a tremendous get for Dynasty Fantasy Football. At the 107, we got a kind of a surprise here. Another wide receiver coming off the board. Here they drafted Jahan Dotson, wide receiver from Penn State. Dude might get draft capital. Dude might be a first round pick. Has speed to burn, strong hands. Has over a 30% market share in each of his last 2 seasons. So he has some productivity to his name. Decent specs on the metric. Size adjusted speed score isn't exactly there, but overall speed, overall burst is tremendous at the catch point. Runs good routes. Just a solid player. Next pick at the 108 here, they selected Rachaad White, running back from Arizona State, and this dude's been climbing boards all offseason. Had a good performance at the combine, had good production metrics this season, caught 42 passes out of the backfield, makes him a solid receiving option for fantasy, had over 1,000 yards rushing, double-digit touchdowns, was very productive, looked good on the field. Now we just got to see what the draft capital is going to look like for this dude. To the 109, Chris Olave, wide receiver from Ohio State, the other Buckeye, is coming off the board here. Another first-round wide receiver, good change of direction skills, savvy route runner, good hands, and he's always there when the big play is needed. At the 110 pick, we got another wide receiver. It's a deep wide receiver class, and it's one of my guys, George Pickens, wide receiver from Georgia. Dude is strong at the catch points. He's aggressive. He's assertive. He's just a playmaker, and he's fun to watch. Coming off an ACL injury, causing his stock to drop a little bit. Sometimes you see him fall into like the 201 pick. I like him here at the 110. I think this is a good value here for 1 QB leagues, and I think he's going to get decent draft capital. Probably will be drafted in the second round somewhere. To the 111. Next pick off the board. Here they're selecting Jameson Williams, wide receiver from Alabama. Dude has speed to burn, has 4.3 speed, good burst, good route runner, was very productive this year. Previously from Ohio State, then transferred and immediately took over Alabama's offense. Coming back from an ACL injury, but should be good to roll sometime during his rookie season. Will be a first rounder, will have that draft capital, will get the opportunity to succeed early in his career. Let's finish up that first round with the 112 pick, and they are selecting one of my guys, one of my favorite players in this draft, David Bell, wide receiver from Purdue. Dude broke out at age 18 with over a 20% market share, and then was productive throughout all of his career, all 3 seasons. Was a mega producer from an ownership standpoint. Combine didn't look good, but you don't need to have 4.4 numbers to be solid at the NFL level. This guy can run routes, good ball skills, very savvy, very nuanced, very strong at the catch point. And that's it for the first round. To recap real quick, at the 101, Breece Hall. At the 102, Treylon Burks. At the 103, Kenneth Walker. The 104, Garrett Wilson. 105, Isaiah Spiller. 106, Drake London. 107, Jahan Dotson. 108, Rashad White. 109, Chris Olave. 110, George Pickens. 111, Jameson Williams. And 112, the show's favorite, David Bell. And it is time to move on to the second round. At the 201 spot, we got a little bit of a surprise. Not as much of a surprise pre-combine, but a little bit of a surprise now. And that's Kyren Williams, running back from Notre Dame. This guy fell on his face at the combine. However, there are some good things about him, though. He blocks well. He blocks his face off. That's going to get him on the field a little bit. Catches the ball well in the backfield. Does the finer nuanced things well. Is he the most athletic guy on the field? No. But he does just enough to get on the field. Here at the 201 spot, if he gets draft capital, which might happen still, this could be a good selection. At the 202 pick, they drafted Christian Watson, wide receiver from North Dakota State. This guy is a size-adjusted speed demon, good size-adjusted athleticism, moves well in the field, good hands, good route runner. He's a very crisp athlete, and I bet you he gets higher draft capital than expected. Moving on to the 203 pick, here's one of my guys, one of my favorites, and it's Zamir White, Zeus from Georgia, one of my favorite running backs in this draft. I feel like this is a good spot for him. I am pulling all day on this dude in the early second round. He's got good burst. He's very reliable between the tackles and just does everything good. He's a solid running back, has decent production considering he was sharing the backfield, coming back from 2 major knee injuries and still having that athleticism on the field. Did really well at the combine, one of the top running backs at the combine, and size-adjusted speed scores. Zamir White is a guy you need to be looking at in rookie drafts this season. Moving on to the 204 pick. Another one of my wide receivers coming off the board here, and I like the value for him here and in most drafts, and that's Sky Moore, wide receiver from Western Michigan. This guy's been productive throughout his collegiate career from his freshman season to the end, and just showed more productivity throughout his career. This last year he went bonkers, but this guy has good change of direction skills, very sudden in his movements, can get downfield, can move laterally well, good route runner, pretty cerebral, runs a good diverse route tree, and overall is a solid player. Moving on to the 205 pick. Another one of my guys, I'm kind of fading him more, but he's more of a diversification asset for me, and this is Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver from Kentucky. What I like about him is his production. Broke out at age 19 with Nebraska. transferred to Kentucky, and at age 20 broke out again with Kentucky against SEC level competition. That's something you can hang your hat on with this prospect. Looked good speed, got downfield, good hands. I like this prospect, and I'm going to diversify to him from the other players that I like just to mix up my portfolio. I'm going to be snagging him a lot in the mid-second round of rookie drafts. At the 206 spot here, one of my guys getting selected again, and it's wide receiver Justin Ross from Clemson. This dude has the skill set to become a top 10 wide receiver at the NFL level. And the thing about him is the spinal injury that's caused him to drop in stock. Bad year for Clemson. The offense looked bad. Of course, he was a little bit rusty this year, but you can't ignore what he did during his freshman and sophomore seasons over there at Clemson. Looked like one of the best wide receivers in college football, one of the top Devy prospects at that time. And the fact that we can get him here in the middle of the second round is a no-risk situation because we're drafting a player that could go to the moon on us, and if he falls on his face, we ain't out anything. Good spot here for Justin Ross. 207 slot here. We got a quarterback, and I can see why. The upside is tremendous. It's Malik Willis, quarterback from Liberty. Konami code, big play specialist, strong arm, first-round draft capital, will get the opportunity to succeed. And if he hits, he's going to be hitting big for your Dynasty roster. To the 208 pick, and here we selected running back Brian Robinson from Alabama. I believe he's going to get higher draft capital than expected. I've heard a lot of people touting that. I believe that too. I've been saying that as well because NFL teams like to scout the helmet. They want to pay the Alabama tax. Makes sense. Does some good things on the field, was productive, can catch the ball in the backfield, bigger back with some wiggle, got a little bit of speed for his size, and overall could get it done for 3 downs for an NFL team. Next player off the board here at the 209 pick, another big back, 220-pounder Tyler Algier from BYU, very productive this season, can pound the rock between the tackles, catch the ball a little bit out of the backfield, and he has a little bit of speed for his size. Doesn't have that 4.4 speed, but has enough speed to get it done. To the 210 pick here, and in this draft, they selected John Mechie, wide receiver from Alabama. This is another prospect that I think is going to get higher draft capital than expected. He's getting talked up a lot by big media. Whether that means anything or not, we're going to find out. We're going to find out when the NFL teams put their chips on the table, but I think he's going to get drafted higher than what we think. That's going to impact his stock here in Dynasty Fantasy Football. And in the second round of rookie drafts, why not take the chance? To the 211 pick, another player that might be getting higher draft capital than expected is James Cook, running back from Georgia. Has some speed, has some burst, has some will, catch the ball in the backfield. Out of that Georgia program, NFL teams are going to want to pay that tax. Now we just got to see where he goes in the draft. Last pick in this draft, the 2-round, 1 QB rookie mock here. They drafted Tyler Batty from Missouri. Very productive this season. Has some speed, can catch the ball in the backfield. Draft capital is going to be a key driver to his rookie draft value. We could see him stumble a bit. We could even see him rise a little bit. Depends on where he goes and how high he gets drafted. But he does have some skills that could allow him to be a valuable asset for fantasy football. But to recap this second round, here they are. The 201, Kyron Williams. 202, Christian Watson. 203, Zamir White. 204, Sky Moore. 205, Wan'Dale Robinson. 206, Justin Ross. 207, Malik Willis. 208, Brian Robinson. 209, Tyler Algier. 210, John Mechie. 211, James Cook. And 212, Tyler Batty. Let me know what you think of this draft right here. It seems very standard. There's not many crazy picks or any surprises. There's a few off balls, but not tremendously off. You're going to have 1 or 2 in this year's class, especially in these mocks, because it's just a random group. It's pretty random. I've noticed this in a lot of my mock drafts. I do a lot of them. I see it a lot. You've noticed from the channel, I see a lot of these mock drafts, and weird stuff happens, whether it's super flex or 1QB. That's why you need to be looking at these mock drafts. But I'm here for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because I got more coming. More mock drafts coming your way, and they're coming hot and heavy. But I want to thank you for watching the show. Stick with me, and I'll catch you next time.